Welcome to the Granada House Podcast, coming to you from Granada House Studios in North Park, San Diego.
I'm Hannah Russell, and I'm here with my co-host Kyle Palinok, and together we explore how to live a meaningful, balanced life. Right, Kyle?
That's right, Hannah. We bring real conversations and inspiring stories to help you live life on your own terms.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Granada House Podcast. We've just come to sit down and have a chat because I feel like that's how the podcast was born, from you and I just having chats.
It's a time that we get to kind of recall some of the moments of the past 6 months from all the awesome guests we've had. Mm-hmm. I'm in kind of a silly mood today, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
But no, this is like, I want to have fun doing this. I mean, I think the whole point of this for me is it's like a journey. It's an adventure. I have this little folder on my desktop, adventures. So I have all my
cute.
like little stupid stuff that I do, like, and I think this actually turned into something that was very unstupid, like very meaningful for me. So I think like bringing this together, I just kind of like fell down a rabbit hole. And it's been really fun. I don't know about you.
No, I think that's the best way to be, because it while it is meaningful, we also we're creating a jingle at 1 a.m. in the morning
that was
in
fun.
the den.
Then we were like, we should
and
actually
then we're
do
like,
this.
oh, let's actually turn it into our jingle. So I like it because it's real, and also like today we haven't.
So we did one thing right. We got a jingle.
We got a jingle, and we haven't really ever planned what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I know. That's okay, though.
But it works out. Mm-hmm. And it's like the other night when we were chatting in the hot tub, like if only we had microphones next to us, but microphones and water don't really mix very well. And it's like we have really good conversations in the hot tub. And it's like
hanging from the house, like a big boom mic.
Yeah.
Just I think when people are feeling relaxed and they're feeling like they have a space to do that. So a studio is kind of, I want to throw this out there. Thank you for the studio, Granada House, guys.
Yay.
I mean, we get to have a place where we can do this. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And I think when people come in here, they're like, "Oh, you mean like I get to like take my very busy schedule and I get to essentially like cross off 2 full hours where all we do is talk about me."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but it's also really cool.
Well, it's funny because we have had a few guests that I know have felt a little bit uncomfortable about doing the podcast, but then they come and sit in the chair and then they realize, yes, there's microphones and we're in a studio, but it really is just a casual chat.
It's
and
funny
I think
that
that's happened multiple times with us now.
We also have guests that we don't have yet that are also feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't know, should I do it? And like, so
we also have guests that I know would love to do this and love to talk about themselves, and they're coming too.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different challenge. That's what's great about people. Like, you never like, I mean, what you think you know of them or what you get to see on the surface is just like, when you get to talking with people like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoot, everyone should do this.
Yeah. But it is inorganic.
Because you get to see like really who they are.
I know,
you
but
what I mean?
If they feel safe in the space.
Well, yeah,
Or it's
course.
like everyone's energy is different on a different day. Like, yeah. But I think the point of us doing this particular podcast is to make it feel as authentic and as organic as possible.
You know, when you told me the first time, you just kind of casually were like, "Oh no, we should just not. We shouldn't edit it. Like, let's just talk." And I was like, what? I was like, huh? Because I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like really, it's gonna be hard. But then it was like easier because
so much easier.
It just So if you notice, there's no editing.
There's no even pulling out any ums. There's no editing. And it's still a lot of work, the amount of editing that we do to like get it out.
Thanks to Paige for helping me with my speech as over the last 20 years, because there would have been a lot more likes and ums and silliness with my silliness.
Right.
So there's less silliness because of her.
But aren't the
She's
best
taught me that.
conversation right? But aren't the best conversations the one where maybe there is a little bit of silliness in there?
The rhythm
Like,
is important.
it's important, yeah, to listen to, because we, like I said, we want to make it feel as organic as possible, like you're actually just having a conversation with us in real life.
Have you thought about like when you have a conversation with someone and then you have like this double Dutch battle with the silence part, especially when there's like 4 people. You're in a car and you're talking, and then it's like all of a sudden it's quiet, and then you're like, oh shit, like who's gonna do it? Who's gonna go in?
Who's gonna go?
And some people have to fill that silence.
They do, and then some people are so comfortable just sitting and waiting.
And some people are like, they don't even register that. They're just like, they don't even know there's silence. I notice sometimes when my brain's really like on and I'm not like thinking about the dynamic. That's actually I think a place where most people want to be.
Yes, but if people are not comfortable in their surroundings, they don't feel safe. Yeah. Then the silence can be very terrifying.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, I find it easy to talk to you. So like, it would be different if someone else was sitting in front of me right now. I might feel like
complimenting me right now?
I am. I feel like we can talk.
That's very nice of you.
For too long sometimes.
Thank you very much.
But it's not easy. It depends. It really depends who you're bouncing off. And it's like, we notice the difference when we have different guests in here.
I think like
is completely different.
Yeah, it's true. Honing in your, if you want to call it a skill of just being a conversationalist, it's not really like a skill. It's just more of like it's a refinement of like a good dinner. You know, like got to be well rounded. You gotta have some texture. You gotta have some sweet. Gotta have some bitter. Maybe something a little fun in there.
And you've got to be able to like think about the other person too. And figure out ways to engage.
Yeah. And so what if you're like a chef preparing a dinner for somebody? You know, like I watch those chef shows just because Paige does. I'm like, this is like weird to me. Like it's a foreign thing, but I appreciate it now. I know way more about food than I never ever thought I would. But I do appreciate the artistry that goes into that, and that's why I use it as an analogy. But it's like you're kind of like have to. You don't even know if they're going to like any of the stuff, but if they do choose that, you kind of have to appeal to a lot of people, but also still put your stamp on it, right?
Correct. Yeah. And there's so many different angles that you can go about being in a conversation with someone. I actually started, I have it on my Audible, reading 92 Ways to Talk to Anybody.
Oh, really?
Which is funny because now we're talking about this right now.
Oh.
Because
it's funny how that comes up when you read something. You end up thinking about it.
You end up thinking and talking. I haven't.
So tell me about it.
I started reading it like listening to it like a few months ago, and I haven't finished yet. But I did it because I feel like I can have really great, deep conversations with people when they're really engaged and I'm like really in there, and it's like challenging me. And it's like I don't struggle with those conversations at all. I thrive with them.
Yeah.
But to get to that point, you have to do the small talk. And sometimes, not sometimes, I know I don't love small talk.
There's something really awkward when you, in a weird way, I've had this happen a few times where you just go real deep with someone you don't know real fast and you're just like, whoa,
I have so many of these conversations on planes.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Talk deep?
I got deep with this lady from North Carolina, like a couple of months ago.
I would love to hear you converse with someone from North Carolina.
She was telling me how
she have a cool accent.
She told me how she couldn't get pregnant, and now she has 5 kids. And then she's like, I just feel like so inspired by you. Like there's something really special coming for you, and you're just like so lovely. And then she's like, and I'm telling you now, like you got to trust the process and blah blah blah. Like we got deep.
She wants to give you advice.
But I mean, how did that conversation start? Well, there was a guy. It's like we had an interim to connect and find the energy because there was a guy that was complaining about someone else sitting in his seat. And he was like really rude to the old guy. Aww. Then the old guy just like didn't have any idea. Like he was just accidentally sitting in the wrong seat.
Yeah.
And then I think when he asked him to move, the old guy couldn't hear him properly, so didn't do anything. And then this guy got really rude. And then the lady that was with him got really rude. And I turned around, and I have like such a short fuse for people that are rude like that.
Did you tell him off? Like in a nice way?
I said something to someone in front of me and I think the lady, and then I turned around and acknowledged it to the lady that I ended up talking to. And I think this woman heard it, and then they finally he sat down and he turned around and goes, "Do you have a problem?" And then he like snapped at me, and I went, "No, you're fine." And then he said something else, and it was really horrible and rude. And I just like inhaled and exhaled because I wanted to scream back, but I was like, "It's a seat."
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. If it didn't get sorted out then, a flight attendant was going to come and fix the problem.
No,
so like
people get weird on airplanes.
They get so weird. And
you
then
fly a lot though, so you get to see all the
I've seen so many seat like arguments, and I'm like, really? And I think I turned around to the lady next to me and I'm like, the world's not ending. And she's like, I know. And then we got deep.
How do we use that? How do we use that as a metaphor to go deeper? Because think about it. How do people feel when they're just like I bet a lot of these people that get into seat arguments on an airplane, they're probably cool like 90% of the time, but there's something that gets activated when they're in a particular environment. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just giving people the benefit of the doubt here, or maybe that's what comes out of them. In how do we like explore that more? Like, how do we get in there and say, how do we find that in ourselves? Do we have to get ourselves into an uncomfortable place and find out what our thoughts and feelings are without projecting them on old men sitting in our seats? Or how do we make ourselves better? I do think that we all have these...
I don't think people that are fighting over seats are people that are interested in making themselves better.
Okay, true. That's... Okay.
Because I'm like, it's such an easy problem to fix.
But that's like saying, I mean, that's easy. But like,
let
me establish one more thing first.
With people, though.
Let me establish one thing first. People that have that happen to them, or if they create that, they have challenges.
They have challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all have challenges. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, like, I don't know, if you put me up against in a corner and you put me in a position where like
you feel vulnerable.
Yeah. So like, I bet I would snap in certain environments. Like, luckily, I've been able to like not have that happen to me. Like recently or lately in the last, like, I don't know, few years or something. But like, I remember times where I'm just like, you just feel out of it. You're whack.
Absolutely.
So how do you get in front of your whack, you know?
Right. And I think that takes self-work and someone that looks at their life and is like, I'm facing this challenge right now, or I'm going through this stuff, which is why I just snapped like that. And then they're like, eventually like go through the steps to kind of like be like, okay, I was feeling, well, like they take a look at their emotions and they're like, okay, I was feeling this way. So what do I need to do to correct that? But then there's a lot of people that don't do that. You and I are people that look at our emotions and like analyze.
Yeah, I
we
laugh at
behave
myself.
that way.
I laugh at the way that I feel to myself.
But there's so many people that actually don't do that, which is why when I see these people arguing over seats, I look at them and I can look at them with empathy and be like, oh, something's not going well right now. So, they don't really have control over that. They're not thinking about that. They probably won't be thinking about that. So let them just do their thing. And then, they're going to get their seat.
But, it's funny.
And I don't say anything anymore because it's not worth it.
I hate to compare, but, like, for me, it's kids. Like, if, like, having kids, I'm like, you're forced to basically, like, this is right in front of your face every single day. Right,
but they're kids, so
well, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. But you learn from that.
You learn from that. You grow out of it. But some people
that person's a kid too. Like you draw these parallels, and you're like,
they just have never. They've just never, gotten to the other side.
But, I guess what I'm saying is like, forget those people, forget that dude on the plane that was mean to the old guy, right? So for those of us that, we know that we've got a flaw or something. We know that, well, we all do, but we know that we have something we want to work on. How do we get in front of it without, triggering it or something. Like,
well, I feel like
should we subject ourselves to environments?
A trigger is something that can wake you up to it and be like, I don't want to act this way anymore. Why am I being this way? Mm-hmm. So that is a first step to getting in front of it.
Have I told you? Yeah, I've talked to you about this idea that I read, I think it was a while ago. I think I was reading some like Kierkegaard, which I don't really read that much. Kierkegaard.
I don't
it's
know
pretty
what that
thick.
is.
He's a philosopher.
Okay.
Soren Kierkegaard. I don't even know where he's from. Some like European country.
Right, where there's mountains.
Soren. He could be like Swedish or something.
I just imagine someone with like
anyone with two A's in a row in their last name.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had this idea. I was just casually reading,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do that.
That's good.
And he but he had this like crazy concept, like blew my mind. And it's just like, and it's pretty obvious, but it's like knowing thyself and then thinking about what's like, how do you create yourself? How do you like project yourself? How do you know yourself? And the truth is you don't even really have yourself, because like if you were to aggregate all the information about yourself, it would be completely different. So and then I think most people can agree that they're not the average of, like, their existence is not the average of what everyone else thinks of them, right? So ultimately it comes back to like what you decide, and so if you are in alignment, I guess, of what you're doing, because all we have is our actions essentially at that time. Like all we really have is, well, I'm like merging books together, but if you were stripped of everything that you ever had or did, all you have is what do you do at that time, right? Or what do you think, or what do you say or not say? So you strip that down to your basic being, and then that can be like, if you know that is yourself, right? Then you get to kind of redefine and actually shape yourself from the ground up, and then what happens from that, and then we talk about the podcast and everything, is you start to get to, how does this bear fruit? What do we want to do? Because I mean, I think it's a pretty good analogy to just say, like, we're just like the seed as little kids, or as we're growing up, and how much water and fertilizing sun do we get? And then ultimately you're kind of like, you go through storms and you go through all this, but it's like, ultimately, don't we want to like be good people? And
yes.
What does that mean? And
yes.
Do you want to be on the guy on the plane that's getting pissed off at the old guy?
Right.
No,
I don't. But that's because we've made decisions, like,
but
exactly
what's cool,
like what you said, is you make choice to be that way.
Even if you were that asshole, like, you don't have to be that asshole. You don't. Like, he could like right change. Now he could come onto our podcast and we could rip him to pieces. No, I'm just kidding.
I was so mad
and
at
then,
him.
And then
I was like,
could slap him around a little bit.
How dare you be mean
What are you
to that
doing,
old
man? Dude, I got pissed at myself a little bit last night because I kind of did that. Like, I have an old man dog, as you know. Yeah. And he was like, oh, you got pissed at him. After 14 years, like, he's, we get used to him being so great. He was like straight up eating, like, and I don't know, a lot of dogs do this. So yeah, for you can be like, Kyle, what the hell, man? But like, he was straight up like taking food like out of our hands, like we were sitting on the couch, like having a snack, watching a show. And we were like, what the fuck? Really, Jasper? Like, yeah. And I got so mad, and I grabbed him, and I didn't like hurt him or anything. Right. But he was, I mean, I don't know. I think he's just losing his mind, so I felt bad. But
then you got mad.
But then I was like, wait a minute. I need to just chill the fuck out.
Yeah, but that's what, right.
That's what I basically told myself.
Anger is that nerve in you.
No, but at first it was justified by like, oh, well, I'm going to teach this dog, what to. It's like, well, no, I ain't teaching that dog anything. That dog is done learning.
I did a similar thing. I remember years ago in New York where I was lining up at the dollar store. You say dollar store in America. We say $2 store.
Wait, is that because of the strength of the Australian dollar? It's just not... Hey, man, you guys shouldn't sell yourself short. You can't buy a shit for an Australian dollar. We need to make it the $2.
We say the $2 shop.
$2.
But we actually have $2 coins.
Imagine you're in Australia and you opened a store called the dollar store.
I know, it gets so much more business, right?
Think about it.
Yeah, because everyone's like, it's not $2, it's $1. That's like half. Wow, that's a good idea.
Business
Yeah.
idea. Thank
Dollar
us later,
store.
guys. Thank us later.
Lining up at this dollar store, Upper West Side, New York.
Okay.
I think I was probably stressed at the time. Doing a lot.
What do people go to dollar stores for anyway? What are
you're
you fucking gonna get there?
Your mop, your cleaning supplies. You don't have to
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm lamenting about the dollar store.
I'm
they're
trying to
all
tell you my
over.
story,
I
and
know,
you're
but they're all over the
store.
place, and I don't know what the hell they're for.
I mean, they work out. I always seem to find something cool there that I need that I don't.
Do you really need it? That's the thing.
It's I get my
do you
cleaning
really
stuff.
need it?
I get cleaning stuff,
Okay.
and toothpaste,
All right.
and I found the split pins that I needed for an audition.
You can get toothpaste for $1.
Yes, in New York, dollar stores go really well.
What kind of toothpaste is this? Is it
It's
old?
No, it's like Colgate.
Why is it $1?
Well, it's not.
Why do they have
it's
it?
It's not $1.
Well, then why is it a dollar store? I don't understand.
Everything's just a little bit cheaper. But yeah, the dollar is a lie. It's a lie.
Do you think there was a time where everything was $1 at the dollar store? I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
I do remember there being a dollar store in my hometown in Pony Village Mall. Pony Village Mall, yeah. Which it wasn't really a mall. It was basically like a little strip mall. It had an inside part, though. And of all the rotating places, I think there was a dollar store, and things were $1.
Yeah,
but
but
I just think that should be
back in the day.
I want to change it. I want to open up a dollar. No, I don't.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
That's such a terrible.
We're gonna open up a dollar store in Australia.
Still a terrible decision.
Okay, go to your story. I'm sorry.
Lining up at the dollar store,
it.
Upper West Side, New York City.
Okay, put it in the cloud.
No one's gonna understand that joke.
Okay.
What was I buying? I think I was buying some sort of cleaning. Oh no, I was buying laundry detergent.
And you lined up.
There was a queue.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was going to the laundry to do my laundry.
British English.
Right.
Most of the listeners don't know what a queue is.
Line queue.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't even know what the right word is anymore.
It's a line in America.
Okay, I was in the line.
Yeah.
And there's this Hispanic lady serving everyone. Mm-hmm. And then this really tall, overbearing dude got to the counter and the line was taking forever. And I'm thinking, what is going on up the front? Anyway, he starts accusing this woman of he's like, I gave you I think it was $20 when he actually gave her 10. You know that little trick? When I used to work at McDonald's, people used to do it to me all the time.
You worked at McDonald's?
That was my very first job. And I'm going to finish this story. I'm going to finish this story. And then he started yelling at her for not giving the right change. And she knew that she was getting fooled by him. And she was trying so hard to stand her ground, but he was so overbearing. He was so tall. He was an asshole, basically. And I'm standing in the line and I was watching this, and no one else was saying anything because he did look like quite an intimidating dude.
Yeah.
So I walk up with my laundry detergent, at the back of the line.
Costs more than $1.
And I just had such a short fuse that day. And I just went,
Did
you need to
bop
stop.
him?
I was like, you need to stop talking to her like that. And he's like, dude, she gave me the wrong change. I'm like, no, you're tricking her right now. And I just I lost my shit. And then he's like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, well, actually, blah, 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 blah. And I kept going.
Actually a big deal.
And then I started, I was screaming at this guy that was twice my height.
Yeah.
And I was
Ain't nobody
shaking.
gonna let that.
And I just I was so mad. And this lady at the counter was just watching. He's like, well, I'm going to call the police. And I'm like, call the police. I'm like, because you're on camera right now. And I'm like, and then the police came and I exited before the police came. And he followed me.
Oh, boy.
Around the block. And so I kept walking and my heart was like pounding so fast. And I was like, I really shouldn't have lost my shit at this guy.
Right.
But also no one else was defending this woman.
Yeah.
And she was trying her absolute best. And so anyways, I walk around the block and then he finally stops following me. So then I go straight home and I chilled out there for like half an hour. And then I went back because I wanted to see if the cops actually came. The cops did come. And they got rid of the guy. And
he went back there?
I think so. Or they got the CCTV or whatever.
Yeah, they found him.
And the woman, I walk in and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. She was like, I was just on the phone to my husband. I was so scared and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I feel good now. But also, Hannah, you really shouldn't be talking to strange, like guys twice your size like that in New York City.
I think like if you don't make that a common thing you do every day, it's probably fine.
Yeah.
I believe in, giving credit where credit's due, calling people out when they need to be, being the person that stands up and says,
yeah.
There's only like a certain type of people that would even consider that. It's interesting.
It's funny because in the moment, I didn't think about if this is dangerous.
Yeah.
I just saw what was happening.
Yeah.
And I got really mad because I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
He is going to get away with this because she's in a vulnerable position right now. And I was like, no, that cannot happen.
Well, whatever you did, it worked.
It worked. It was a little scary.
You feel good about yourself for doing that, or
a few days later?
Yeah.
Because after it happened, I just realized the amount of adrenaline that was running through my body, and I was shaking, and I was like,
when those situations
really
come
angry.
up, it's really hard to identify if you're excited over. When I say excited, I mean in the scientific version of excited, fight or flight. If you're excited about what you could say or do in a moment, and then that feeling where your heart starts beating and you're like I'm about to do it. and then when you do, you don't want it to be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So it's like this, like a bubble bursting, and you're just like, nope. And I feel like as long as your bubble's not bursting every day, looking for stuff like that, then pretty much when that happens, you should act on it.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
I think if more people did that, you could call it a social duty or you could call it whatever you want, but it's just more about standing up for what's right around you. I mean, we all have that.
And I wasn't trying to be a hero or anything in the moment. I was literally just like, bzz, this is not okay right now. And no one else is helping. So, the chick in this line.
Have you ever been in that situation? I feel like I've had that situation come up before, and then I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't in the mood. And it sucks because you're just dealing with so much of your own shit, and you're just I can't deal with that right now.
Right.
And that sucks too.
That sucks too. I agree.
Probably sucks more.
Right.
But also you're it's okay to not do stuff.
It is. I'm not saying everyone go out and yell at strangers, but when it feels right.
Good, because
yelling at people.
Let's make sure that that's loud and clear.
Planes,
we're not advising people to go out and get into trouble.
Right.
Get into some dangerous sitch.
But anyway, how did we get here?
You wanted to tell me a story about the Dollar Tree or the dollar store. See, I've got the brand in my head.
The dollar store story came from people getting angry in the moment and not being able to control their emotions.
Yeah. So look, if we want to tie this back to Granada House in some way, because I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is a random conversation, but that's fine. If you want to tie this back to Granada House, think about the type of person you are. Who are you? Are you the type of person that doesn't give a fuck? Are you the type of person that is too afraid to go intervene in a situation like that? Are you what do you stand for? Do you know what that is? do you have the creative outlet that you need to be able to identify like yourself for who you are?
Right.
Because I think everyone out there is looking for you.
Right.
Like they want to know who you are. So what you can do for people is be you.
Right. And you need to have a good grasp on that. And having a good grasp on that is everything that you just mentioned, but also understanding when you get emotional and why. Because that's, or when you hide your emotions or you're unable to, you're avoiding a situation, you're avoiding your emotions. That's another part as well. I'm avoiding my emotions right now, which is why this situation is not getting better.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. And being able to feel your emotions.
You know what?
So that you don't
I don't want to
burst.
talk too much about my personal life, but I will share a little story about emotions. So my son was just having, I don't know, just a moment, you know?
Yeah.
And he normally doesn't. He's it's not a common thing that we go through.
Right.
So he's very mature for his age. Has his shit together, seems like, you know, and he doesn't have outbursts. But just the other night, I think it was 2 nights ago. He was just like, for whatever reason, just sobbing, just super upset. We went and got ice cream, you know, that didn't help because we were celebrating my daughter's achievements.
I remember this night. Yeah.
This is when
I was skating in the mini park when you guys are going to get ice cream.
We're busy right now. Because there was a tantrum about to happen. And it was funny because it wasn't like a tantrum. It was interesting. And I thought it was really cool because I had an opportunity. I saw this little window of opportunity because I know that was a really vulnerable time for him, and there was no apparent reason that he was acting the way he was. He wasn't hurting anyone.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He was annoying us. He wasn't hurting anybody. He wasn't saying anything mean or violent. He was just crying to himself and just felt. He just felt, and he probably felt. And I went back to when I was a little kid, and I remember having these moments where I felt just so much emotions and I didn't know what the hell was going on.
They were coming
My
from.
parents were like, describe it. Tell us what's going on. And I was just like, it hurts here. I was trying to articulate. And I remember that moment, and I was about his age. And I remember coming back later and thinking, wait, I was just emotional. That was it. And so I got an opportunity to tell him, we don't have to find out what's going on right now.
Yeah.
You can just let this shit play out, dude.
Yeah.
Like I didn't say the S word when I was talking to him. I was like, but I was just like, it's fine, dude. I was like, freaking cry.
Yeah.
Cry. Feel it.
I feel like we should do more of that as adults.
Right. And it's pretty cool to feel these
so cool.
Crazy, like, I want to cry.
It's actually funny. I have 2 days ago, you know, I know because I'm an adult now, like I put 2 and 2 together, but like I pulled up to the gym, parked the car, and then I just started crying. And then I got out of the car and I was like, it's going to stop because I'm going to the gym. And like, I haven't cried for like a week and a half or whatever, you know? And then I walk down the boardwalk to the gym. I'm like, no, it's not going away. No, I'm really crying right now. But it didn't come in a moment where something had just happened. It was like everything over the last few weeks just like boiling up. And it was like, why did it come now? And then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to walk into the gym right now and like pretend that I'm fine. I'm actually going to like cry about it. So I had my gym stuff and I just walked up the boardwalk, and then I found a spot on the beach where like no one was. And I was like, I'm just going to cry until I stop crying.
Yeah.
And then I stopped crying, and then I walked myself back to the gym. And the next day I felt amazing. I didn't feel amazing, but I was like, I feel fine. I feel level-headed. And I'm like, that is... It was like tension building up from the last few weeks and like everything that had happened the day before. I was like organizing my visa and stuff, and I'm like, cool, it was just like a really good way of dealing. I haven't always dealt with it like that.
We have to listen to our bodies.
Yeah, your bodies keep the score.
Dude, can't even.
Right.
Can't
and I think
even
that
tell you
happens
enough.
with kids too, because they don't know.
Well, they're
what's
completely in the dark. Like,
right.
Even adults, though, we have no idea. I mean, we don't listen to our bodies. Like, when we're hungry, the body has to send us like special, like signals to our brain to trick us into like feeding them. But if we don't actually pay attention and honor our bodies, they'll get fucked up. They'll get real fucked up. I mean, we really need to take a more active role. When I say I'm talking about myself, we say we. It's funny. Our first episode, I was talking about me and my body, but no, I back on that. I mean, but just like when you gotta go poop, you gotta go, and when you gotta go pee, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And like when you gotta cry, you gotta cry.
Yeah.
But when you want to yell, when you want to, when you're feeling anger, we also have to like shape and protect our bodies from hurting other people,
Yes.
And that's another thing that we go through, parenting with kids is they're so wild. They'll take anger and they'll just beat the shit out of something or someone. And you're like, ooh, no, I can't do that. But when you learn those boundaries, you have to make allowance for crying and being something that is not, violent. That's okay. Because I think we end up corralling a lot of emotions that we shouldn't.
Yes.
And so
and
so creatives
comes through in many ways, and it's better to just deal with that emotion, or to like at least be able to like explore why you're feeling that way. And it sounds all wishy-washy.
Take time for yourself, though.
Really, really do it, because then you can show up clear-headed rather than letting it boil up.
Yeah. And
I feel like we're like an adult podcast, like Inside Out right now.
Oh yeah. We could talk about all the emotions now. But I think, I don't know, back to like what we're doing here, in all seriousness, not really seriousness, but this journey, has taught me a lot so far. So, I say so far because it's not like it's going to end. But we are going to have
like a little bit of a break for a few weeks.
By the way, it's nice to have you back, Hannah. You were gone for a little bit.
I was. One episode,
and speaking of, Jim, who sat in your stead,
yes,
did a wonderful job, and I think it'd be really fun to interview him.
Yes.
So I want to do that. Get in his brain. Yeah,
let's get into his brain. We've got a few lined up.
But
we're going to be gone for a bit.
The people have spoken, and they missed you.
Oh.
I got feedback.
Oh.
So it's nice for you to be back with us.
Well, yeah. But I'm gonna go to Australia for 2 weeks. And then
Australia?
Australia.
What are you doing there? No. Have you ever been there before?
Yeah, I feel like I went there like the last time. I feel like
you don't have to fake that accent anymore.
Might have been like 2 years ago. Haven't been home for 2 years, so going.
What if you just split and just dropped into some completely different accent?
I can do that. I can do the Cockney accent like that.
It's pretty good.
We could do it. I'm pretty comfortable with the Cockney accent. Comfortable with the Cockney accent. I just can't do the American accent.
Which Spice Girl are you? Is that
I'm Mel B. Mel B. Oh, okay. Yeah, she has. I'm pretty sure that's Mel B's accent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't even know.
You don't even know. It's because I was doing a lot of My Fair Lady monologues at one point, and the My Fair Lady monologue is, "Don't you be so saucy. You ain't heard what I come saucy. You ain't heard what I come for yet. Did you tell him I come in a taxi?"
You're even like sitting differently.
People don't know that I did a music theater degree for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I can do the Cockney accent, and I can do the princess
notes.
accent, like if I was royal, because I was a princess once upon a time. And I used to sit on a throne, and the children used to come and tell me their names, and I'd be like, that's practically a princess name.
What does a princess
one.
do when she finds someone at the dollar store acting like they shouldn't?
She walks up calmly, and she says, excuse me, please do not speak like that. I was...
Excuse me.
That will not be tolerated. I was not a princess in that. I was not a princess in that stage of my life. But once upon a time, I was a princess. Anyways, I've had.
This is really like I'm getting all these ideas. We should have talked about this earlier. Anyway, because we just ran out of time.
We should have talked about my first job at McDonald's, because then I could have gone down the full list, because princess was also a job.
My heart just started beating really fast. You know, I have like a special relationship with McDonald's.
And
it's not the kind
It's not the kind
well.
that's good. Yeah,
No.
but you know, as a job in Australia,
Oof.
McDonald's is different.
Things cost more, but they cost less because it's Australian dollars.
Right. We also have McCafe, and we actually have some healthier options on the menu in Australia.
Sure.
We do.
Sure.
But basically, I could go on about how it was the best place to start working as a first job, because it taught you systems and teamwork, and everyone had a role.
Great.
So
maybe they'll endorse this podcast.
They probably would love it.
And then I'll tell them no.
But yes, I know that it comes from the fast food culture that you...
I like the idea of what McDonald's used to be for its first couple of years.
Right.
When it was like 1 or 2 franchises.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, we should save that for another episode, though.
Yeah, we should.
We should talk about jobs, though. I feel like that's a good topic, because
I like
I'm
how
sure
we
you
have
had something
way more than we need to talk about. So are you writing this down?
Well, it's going to be recorded, so we can just go back.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hopefully we pressed record today. We didn't do that once.
I see bumps. I see little bumps on
we didn't press record once.
This was fun. I mean, I do just, I mean, the one idea in my head was that we were going to talk about, more directly about what we, did here in this space, what we learned from all the people, but we can do that again. And also, think of it like this. This is just us riffing off of like, hello, here we are talking about emotions for 20 minutes and dollar stores, which is fine. But I think the point here is like, we're going to keep doing this. It's fun. I'm learning a lot. Thank you. You were missed. We have new guests coming. Help me out.
On the other side
of the world.
June.
Is where you will be.
You will be on the other side of the world, so you'll be in Italy.
I will be on the other side.
Right.
You're gonna be like here. I'm gonna be here.
Well, the moon's actually upside down.
No.
So here's a like, I know I'm going
I slept through astronomy in college.
No, because when I was growing up in Australia, and I would look out my bedroom window and see the moon, I used to always imagine that the shadow on the moon was an alien sitting at a dinner table eating dinner on the moon. And then I got to America, and I like never thought that again. I was like, oh, it's weird. It looks like kind of different. Until I went home one time, and I was on FaceTime with my ex. And he was like, look, the moon. And then I looked out the window at the moon, and then he showed me his FaceTime, and I was like, the alien only exists in Australia. The alien is actually upside down in America because you're on the other side of the world.
At the equator, it's like sideways.
I don't even know what way it turns. But
you know what's crazy?
All I know is the shadow is not the same.
My wildest like thing, like I can't get about the moon is the dark side of the moon. It's like, what the fuck? Like so think about it. The Earth is here.
Yeah.
And the moon's like that, but the moon isn't just turning where you see the whole thing. It turns and it's like, no, I'm not going to show you that other side, Earth. It's like literally like we don't see the other side of it. Wow. It may be upside down, but
yeah, there could be something really cool on the other side of the moon.
Yeah,
Pink
like Floyd
colorful garden
talked about this a little bit.
Okay. Well, you know.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit older than you.
Or I just didn't listen to it.
Yeah,
I was like a Britney Spears girl. I was a Britney Spears girl. Alrighty, should we wrap this up? That was fun.
Yes.
We're gonna be back soon.
I think end of June. We'll get it in the books, yeah.
Yeah, with some new guests, so make sure.
Or you host one without me.
I can do that.
I'm gone.
It's gonna be like doof doof doof. There'll be a party in here.
Oh wow! Yeah. So I'll know if it happened because it'll look different.
It'll look different.
Oh, yeah. Well, why don't you just make it look how you want it?
Okay, I could host one without you. I could.
Yeah.
As long as I press record and get all the things right.
Just like put the mics up there and
press record.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easy.
All right, maybe.
So easy. Okay. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Salud.
See you next time. I was going to finish that sentence
ciao.
With like ciao. And we
what?
It's
the sound
really,
of music.
The sound of music.
Oh, do it.
So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. I hate to go and leave this pretty side. I think that's the end. That's the end.
No, the little girl. She goes,
the sun has gone to bed and so must I. So long. And then the audience is like, farewell.
And they're on the stairs.
Auf Wiedersehen, good night, good night.
Good. And then the dude comes in with the. It's the top. That's the fifth. It's the high.
Yeah, wasn't ready for that. Okay, thank you.
Oh, let's talk about music one of these times. Shit, I could talk about music for hours.
I could talk about the sound of music for hours.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna start a new
topic
break right now. Bye. See ya.
1, 2, 3. High five. Bye.
Bye.